Welcome to another edition of Inspired Discussions, where we challenge the way you think, shatter status quo while increasing your self worth. They call me Sibley, and I'm with my co-host
Remy, realizing energy made me honest. No, bro.
Oh man,
Took away from my steam.
I know I did. What's up, cuz man? You was about to try to convince me of something that we is gonna be like agree to disagree.
What was it?
So, no, because I
I'm
was
looking
trying.
like is this nigga about to break dance? What he doing?
I was trying to find the right word. You was about to make a case for something that we was gonna end up agreeing to disagree on anyway.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
I was just like, let's just start the episode. And just to catch everybody up, I'm even gonna say we have had a disagreement before we was recording. I just didn't let him get out whatever he wanted to get out, and I just started recording, started the episode. That's where that is. Y'all gotta
I guess that's lessons everybody else could probably take because they can't do that in person.
But what's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in again. As always. Before we get into the episode, he asked me yesterday during our prep meeting, because the YouTube audience, as y'all see, I don't have the normal headphones because I got my ears pierced this week and I can't put my headphones all the way on my ear because it's annoying. I had them halfway up during our production meeting. I didn't like it because it was hurting my ears, so I was like, I gotta get some new headphones. So he asked me, he had the question to why, and it's fun. No, because it's really like why now though, for real. Like that, yeah, really should be like the question because and I mean, I guess it just goes to, man, what I've been talking about the last few weeks. Just I'm just being free now and just doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This is really something that I always said I was gonna do. I just never did it.
Wow.
I've been saying this for the longest. So just a why now. I told you,
So
man.
you always wanted earrings.
Yeah, I always wanted to get my ears pierced, but I just never did.
Was it always one or two? Or it was just period?
I think it was just period. I guess it was always two because I ain't never really considered one.
Oh, okay. So. Now you got me thinking about Jaquan. I'm like, wait a minute, Jaquan got his done too. But I'm like, do we got one or two? And if he always wanted one or two, I was just wondering that. Like, okay.
So,
do you? Okay, now Max, you don't gotta answer it. All right. You got tattoos?
Nah, but I am about to get
what?
one up. I am about to get one up. Cause man, I usually don't do pain. I don't do pain. That's why I never did the ears. Cause when I basically my mama scared me off of it because she was like, I told her when I was younger I wanted them done, and she was gonna try the old school needle me with the thread. Like fuck that.
That's a scary image, kind of mess.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I'm good. I'm good. I'm straight on it. Period. But it wasn't that bad. It was like a lesser shot. Like a shot is worse than
for real?
Yeah, than a gun. Yeah, a shot is worse.
I always wondered that. Okay.
It's like a prick. It's kind of like if you ever took your blood pressure, pricked your finger on the little strip.
I've definitely
Yeah. If you have any experience with that, I don't know if you do or not, but yeah.
I may have experience with needles. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's kind of that feeling.
Okay.
Well, here go here go value in this because I just thought about I didn't even think about even talking about this at first, and then we can get into where this gonna take us wherever. Then we can get into what we can talk about, and like I think I might have talked about it before on here. You remember the Will Smith video about the fear or whatnot, or how skydiving and how he thought about it the whole time
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
Yeah, on his.
whatnot until he got to that moment. You know, I thought about that when I get in my ears because I don't do pain. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? So I'm like, I'm the type I get all the way up to it and I'd be like, I'm straight. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm straight. I won't do it.
I'll be
You
that
know,
dude right next to you. Be like, bro, you just wasted my time.
and I'll be like, I'm straight. You know what I'm saying? But I had took the mindset. I'm like, I took that mindset that Will was talking about it. I'm like, I ain't even about to think about it. You know what I'm saying? And like, and I didn't. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't that bad. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I would have spent that whole day worrying over something
Right, right, right,
that wasn't even that bad. So
right.
yeah, that's the little I guess the value in that. You know what I mean? Just that whole
Right, right,
experience. You
right.
know what I mean?
I
But,
hope to. Are you going slow on your end? Am I going slow?
um, I don't think so.
No. Okay.
Uh-uh.
I don't
Nah.
know what it was, but I was like, okay, I hear him, but that is not matching up with what the heck I'm hearing right now. But I heard you though.
Um,
Are you good now though? You good now though? You
yeah,
was the slow motion though, but you good.
yeah, I'm plugged. Yeah, I'm plugged up to Ethernet, so we should be straight.
Okay.
Whatever. It'll work itself out.
Okay. Last question. Last question. Before we go into that, what do you have an idea like tattoo design or whatnot, or you want to?
Oh no, I'm Cherish. She got a A right here on her hand. I'm about to go get the C on mine.
Okay. I'm pretty sure it holds some sentimental value.
Yeah. The
Okay.
A is Andre, the C is Cherish.
I couldn't pull that puzzle together. I was like, all right, that holds value, but what the value is, I don't know. But okay, cool.
and I'm getting it on the hand that the wedding ring gonna be on. So there you go.
Oh, you know
There you
what? I ain't
go.
mad at that. I ain't mad at
You know
that
what
at
I
all.
mean?
When I see people doing that, like going outside of the traditional way of things, I'm like, you know what? That's still dope. Because it still means something. It shouldn't matter who it means something to.
Right, you know what I'm saying.
Right.
The ring culture, the ring thing. That's somebody else culture. Like we still gonna have them, but like we just
Right,
do adding stuff to it. You know what I'm saying. We don't put that much value into it. We put more value into the moments. You know what I'm saying.
right.
So
Right. I've thought about that. I'm like, man, I,
that's
I
that.
can't. I'm not a jewelry person. I'm not about to wear no ring for the rest of my life, bro. I'm sorry. You just gonna have to ride it. Believe me, like I love you.
Yeah, you know, and at first I was on wearing it around my neck, but I'm on a whole different vibe now, and I understand the social status of it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
So
mm.
it's
Okay.
it's a little, you know what I'm saying? Like it got got a lot of got a lot to play a big part into it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Okay.
yeah,
That
that's the you
yeah, I
know
can't be mad at that. That's a personal choice
just
at the end of the
you
day.
know what I'm saying. That's like the ear piercing now. That you know, it's all about just living free and
Right.
um, you know.
Speaking of freedom, since you gave me a good segue that I could probably tie this into, I've had several discussions this week with people, and a few things that was brought to my attention that I've never thought about. But then again, I can't even answer them because I don't have any kids and I'm not in a relationship. So it's like, all right, the only other person that I know I could bring it to will be this guy right here, Sibley. So you're the guy. One in particular is in regards to you being the father of your child, of course. When she gets older and separates from you, as growing up, being the adult, going on her own and living. Of course, family is family at the end of the day, but there's there's going to be a point to where, all right, the things that you do may get replaced by someone else, if they end up doing it. Do you feel any type of way in that regard if that was to happen?
Absolutely not. Long as he meet in the bar. Long as he meet in the bar. Like that's why I
No
do what I.
matter the standards of who he is, period.
What do you
From
mean?
the worst to the best.
What does that mean though necessarily?
Uh, individual, like the individual, period. Whether he's the richest, smartest man in America or the sleaziest sleazeball in America, does your perspective change on that regard if he's
Ah,
doing what he's supposed to that you have done?
okay, and see, here we go. Now, like that's all determined on the example I set for her. I don't think long as I'm not emulating a
Mm,
sleazeball or this or that or any of that, negative type of vibe. Like she not gonna be attracted to that. You know what I'm saying? She gonna know like I'm the bar. Like I'm the bar. We didn't talk about this before. Like
mm,
everything that I do, I'm her first example of how a man should treat a woman.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Definitely.
she see it day in and day out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So long as I'm setting that bar, that's why I said like long as he meet in the bar, like and I'm the bar, like I'm not a sleazeball. So like
Right.
that's the bar. You know what I'm saying? Long as he meet in the bar, like he can't do nothing less of that. You know what I'm saying? And that ain't even got to be on the finance level. You know what I'm saying? He don't have to meet that bar. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? When I say bar, I mean like act. Do he treat you? Do he respect your opinion? Open the door for you. You know, do he do little gestures? Like do the bar. Like
right.
that's
Now
the bar.
the part that changes it is the part that we're always going to be unsure of. There's always that side where it's like, what if? Oh, I mean, I'm used to this. This is what I've been raised upon. But what if? And then she's like, oh, I mean, it does the same thing. What if your bar is like, all right, I know what the bar is, but let me take a dip in this water too, though. And you see that on that end now, you still feel the same.
I mean, at that point, it's like is that's when unconditional love kick in, and I'm like, oh, you want to go bump your head, like you know what I mean? Like, oh, you want to go bump your head, like okay, but you
Mm.
be careful over there because you tiptoeing with some. You my baby, and I don't want to have to go there. But
Okay, all right.
but
Now,
I don't never see her being like that because she especially now like she getting to a point where she reeling into me more and man I got to get used to it because like now it's like it's she be wanting to be all up over me, man, and like I'm not an
mm,
in the space type of person. So
all right,
it's like man, like dang girl, can I breathe for 2 seconds? And then you come back over. So I'm like, no, I want to be under daddy. So it's like, man,
okay.
yes,
Now I'm turning it up.
like, man,
Now marriage comes in on both examples. Where do you stand with that? Because
that's
the father is supposed to be the person to fund the wedding, I believe it is.
oh yeah, is
Uh
that tradition? Is that
oh,
tradition? And then,
So yeah, on both sides of that, where do you stand in?
like, is that tradition though? Because I mean,
I don't know.
from
Are you going to allow the tradition, or are you going to be
I
like, no?
mean, see that there we go with that allowed thing again. Like, I don't like she gonna be her own person. I don't allow anything. Will I accept it is one thing, but
Mhm,
allow it's like you do what you want. But I'm always gonna have my baby back. You know what I'm saying? Like
mhm,
if that's the route that she wanna go,
mhm.
like you know what I mean. After she find her way, you know what I mean. After she find her way, she find her truths and her understandings about life. If that's the route she wanna go, I'm gonna cut the check. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have a conversation if that guy don't meet the standards. Hell yeah, we are. We're gonna have a real long conversation. I can probably guarantee you after that conversation, she won't feel the same way about him. But you know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, you know.
Okay.
So that's not the just to say it's like at the end of it, if that conversation was like, Daddy, I think this is, you know, the right because you know, at the end of the day, like I have to humble myself. Like I wasn't always the man I am. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
if she's saying something and we came away from that conversation where I was
Mm,
like she was saying something
that's
in
a
it,
good way to look at that.
you
I
know
see
what I'm
that.
saying? Like so I
I can see that.
always gonna have my baby back regardless. You know what I mean? So
I like that because I didn't have, well, of course I didn't have that thought until just now. The way you said that, it's like, you know what? Even if that is the case, the lowest of the lowest or whatever, you're you're in that moment where you may have gotten him when he's learning at the same time.
yeah, exactly. Cause you
So it's
know what
like,
I'm
all
saying?
right,
Like you know,
that's man, I never thought about that.
if chairs don't see the things that she see in me, you know what I'm saying? I'm not where I'm at, you know, with
Right.
her. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if we came from away from that conversation where I was like, okay, I see what you being your mother's child right now. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know,
Okay.
long as you happy, long as you safe, you know what I'm saying, and you
Right.
know he don't take away from your peace, and y'all growing, and you see him continually grow. You know, you got
Dang, that's.
your daddy accepted.
I'm trying to even imagine
You know what I'm saying?
myself either me being the guy or my child, and I'm like, bro, either way, I can't help but get over the fact of there's a huge percentage that this may be a waste of my time. I cannot get over that. I don't know why. Because now I'm thinking about, all right, say that marriage happens, it goes through. I don't care what side of the scale you're looking at it on, from the worst person to the best person. And then the marriage is done after 3 years. It didn't work out. 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, whatever. And it didn't work out. Now, what stance point should I be in? It's like, is it the I told you so? But I don't think that's necessary for the timing. Or is it the I don't know. Like, what do you say then? I can't think of anything to say to that scale.
It's another one of those conversations. Like you gotta, I mean, a failed, you know what I'm saying, quote unquote marriage ain't is no different than a relationship in general. You know what I'm saying? It just got that little title on it. You know what I'm saying? So you gonna have those periods where you gonna have to move on, and you can't stay stuck in it too long. You know, you gotta have that conversation, but you know, see, you really got me thinking. You really taking me out there. You really taking me out there. Like I'm already having enough time dealing with this mouth she got right now. You know what I'm saying? You taking me out to freaking.
I
Let me
mean,
see it. 30 years to 30 years out.
I can't relate right now. It's hard for me
You
to
know what
even,
I'm saying?
think
Shoot,
about.
it's hard for me to relate. My baby only 6. Shit.
I don't know what to say in those
but
predicaments, y'all. I really don't.
but I get because I really don't because I just don't know like the emotion of it. Like I only can think of what or how I would want to react to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, it is.
And be.
Is there a chance? I don't even know if that's the right word to use, but is there a moment to where it could be you also realize that you have to be in a specific place as well to even accept the understanding of whatever her choice may be? Like, for her to go through and understand whether it's the worst person or the best person, and if you gonna do this and then it don't work out, you as well have to go through that, like, growth as well, because it's your first time just like it's her first time. So y'all still growing, but in two different ways. But yet it's, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all both
Yeah,
have growth
yeah,
to
yeah, 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 yeah.
hang to.
Yeah, you you would because that's why man, you got shoot, that's just 30
We,
years
we,
from
we,
now.
we need we need a guess on this one. We need a guess on this one. It's a thought, bro. Like,
Yeah.
it's been brought up like in so many
That's
different
very
ways
true.
and facets for me to where it's like, bro, why are you why I'm not in a relationship. I don't got no kids. Like, bro, can't help you there. I'm sorry. Next topic. But yet thinking about it, it's like, dang, you know what? That's one thing that stuck out to me as well. The first person, I mean, the first time situation to where it's like, dang, you know what? That is something that we don't even think about because even removing that whole example, I even said this to my mom, like, I think about a week and a half ago, I believe it was, to where it was like, you know what? With my growth and my understanding of sickle cell and whatnot, I never thought about what their growth and first time is like of having a child with sickle cell. Not only just having their first child, but and having a first child with sickle cell. It's like, bro, we both had to be at some type of level and still growing on a daily basis. Once they get the second and third, you know, we always hear,
Oh
oh yeah,
yeah, you not just a parent. You a parent with a kid with sickle
right.
cell, and then when you got three, you a parent of three with one with sickle cell. So yeah,
But we
yes,
never acknowledged. Well, I don't know if it's meant to be acknowledged, but the thought never happens of, oh snap, you know what? This is their first time too.
you
So with
know, and
everything,
that and that's the thing, you know. Now we about to just veer on to well, no, we on topic, but we about to transition a little bit, and that's the thing, though. Like it's that mentality where you don't want to feel entitled. You just shut up and do your job and not acknowledge the fact that this is a little bit different from being just a parent. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta, your instincts you gotta be tapped in, you gotta be more conscious and aware. Now, you know what I mean? I can only imagine just being a parent, you know what I'm saying? I can only imagine like just the anxiety night in and night out,
right? Crazy.
because like I was off some tip. Like I used to get up to Armani like this and make sure she breathing and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Cause just off just off rip.
Right though.
You know what I'm saying?
I
So
could see that. I could definitely see that. I could definitely see
yeah. So I can just only imagine.
that. Like I got
What
this. I got my
what
first. I don't know what to do with
yeah,
this little
having
nigga,
an
bro.
autoimmune disease. You know what I'm saying? Ain't that's what sickle cell is?
uh,
Autoimmune disease,
Genetic
right?
blood disorder, but it's cool. Everybody fucking up. It's cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, no, I ain't gonna say it's not the same thing. So yeah, whatever. Having that, and so I just can only, so yeah. But what I was saying is it's that mentality that's just passed down from generation to generation in our culture. Just like shut up and do your job as a parent. You should
Right.
this the hand that you was dealt. Shut up and deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think like that mentality just needs to transition a little bit. Yeah, okay. At the end of the day, you gotta play the hand that you dealt. But it's okay to say like I need to I need a little bit more time to grow. I need a little bit more time to, really digest things,
Right.
just take that time for self. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
Right.
because that's key. So,
Now
you know.
on that same tip, now understanding, of course, your first child, and this is your first child, and your first child is still growing as well. There's learning to be had on both levels. Your mistakes as a parent can't be showed even when you get older. When they get older, it's like, you know what, my parent or my father or whatever, that's Superman to me. But you never really thought about the actual first mistakes that never showed at the end of the day, that he probably only had a discussion with, wife or whatever, or whoever he wanted to talk to. It's like, dang, does that still does that still build into the pride and ego stages of a man at the end of the day as well? It's like, you ain't
Um,
never seen my mistakes, son. So he's Superman in your head. You ain't never seen
um,
nothing wrong. But yet he had
I
to grow just
think
like you.
I think that's again just on culture and how it got to evolve. I like to think that I can have that I'm gonna have a direct line of communication with Armani where like I can articulate when I'm wrong too, and that still make me
Mm,
Superman. You know what
mm.
I mean?
I like
You
that.
know what I mean? Because like that's like if you think about it, that's really what mess kids up.
Mm, I do like that. Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what mess kids up. They paint this picture of Superman. So when something is done wrong, like Superman is everything's right.
Right,
Like that's the page. Like save the day, everything's always right.
right.
So when something is done wrong, their whole world is crushed.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So I like to believe that over time that I'm gonna build like a straight line of communication when I make mistakes. Like I do it now when like I may yell
That's
at her.
dope.
I may yell at her and I feel and then I think about it like man that wasn't even called for yelling at her and I bring come here baby and then I'd be like daddy shouldn't have yelled but I yelled look, what triggered that was you did this or whatnot but I still shouldn't have yelled, you know. So
Right.
having those little straight lines of communication. So like I like to believe like, oh, like I say, I set the standard. I set the bar, man.
What
So
about those mistakes that she'll probably never know anyway? Something happened, you were like, oh, I ain't really got to say nothing because she ain't gonna know it was a mistake. She
um
still think I did a good job. You gonna make that to the forefront as well?
no, that's see now there, like that's just I don't know, like that's just being too. I mean, at that point, I mean it depends on what it is, to be quite honest. It depends on what it is. I mean, like if it's something that the situation turned out good, like why ruin it? You know what I mean? But
Right.
if it kind of rattled things a little bit, you know, I'm like, I mean,
I'm not,
it
okay.
just depends
A more
by
direct
situation.
is going back to the boyfriend thing or whatnot. Every she makes that choice and chooses what is not the bar, and you being that what you the image that you have, you're the bar, and she chooses I'm not going with the bar. But then it works out. All the talking, all the griefing, all the whatever actions you had up until that point, and it works out. Is it still for you as the father to be like, you know what, I was wrong about dude, but blah 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 blah. This is why. Or is it like, all right, well, I mean, whatever, you made that choice, you live in it. You made that bed, you lay in it.
Like rephrase like the last. Well, no, repeat that last part of that again. Cause I want to make sure I
You
answer.
made your bed, you lay in it, or the one
Yeah,
before that?
the one, the one before that. The one before
uh
that. Like,
it was with her making the choice to go with something that is not of what you've raised her up under, and it works out. The conversations that you would have had where it's like, all right, this is the standard that you was raised upon. I don't see this. This is that. He's garbage. Blah 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 blah. And it works out though. Do you come back around and be like, you know what, my bad, I was wrong. Blah 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 blah.
yeah, like I say, if he not taking away from your peace and you know y'all growing and y'all building, you know what I'm saying? Like
Mm,
you know, like what long as y'all doing that, like I know I'm the result of growing and building day in and day out. So long as y'all doing that, I know one day he is gonna meet them standards. And if I'm still gonna be a dad, and if anytime I see being stagnant, I'm be like, look, bruh, look, this is what we need to do to fix that. So like once you, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that because that just make me seem like a very possessive dad, and that's not what I'm gonna be.
I had a thought. I was like, no, no,
Yeah,
no.
yeah. I'm not gonna say that, but yeah, man. Long
Okay,
as
listen,
she,
listen. My overall image of this is how much of our pride and ego as a man do we sacrifice for the females in our lives, whether they are our daughters, our wives, sisters, aunts, whatever it may be. All of them have different relationships, but I'm trying to figure out where, in regards to a man's pride and ego, with his daughter or children, does it start from the point to where you have made mistakes, but you holding that perfect image in their head? But I mean, they're going to know some, but it still attaches to your pride and ego. And now you take that as a man to not really go out and apologize or acknowledge the fact you made a mistake. That's where I'm going with, like, the overall pictures, our pride and ego as a man.
I mean, it's situational, man. Like you don't go starting tidal waves on a good man-made tidal waves and the boat selling people.
I mean, we fuck up too, though.
Nah, but like as far as the pride and ego thing, man, I think like if you really submitting like to just on a relationship, like woman and man like relationship, if you really submitting to your partner, you know, that I believe in the capacity that you should be, you know what I'm saying? Like your pride and ego is not really a factor. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
You know what
whoa.
I'm,
Wait.
you know what I'm saying? So
Okay,
like
wait, what?
yeah, like you don't as far as you're not thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? You're not thinking about it because like I put up a post the other day. Like I watched this video of Fantasia and her husband or whatnot.
Mm.
And he started off his conversation like submission should be a beautiful dance between lovers. A beautiful song and dance between lovers. And it hit me so
I
heavy
like that.
because you know what I'm saying. Like when cherishing our relationship started to change was when I took a different approach and I was like I'm about to serve her in a way I never served her before,
Right.
and she started submitting to me in ways that I didn't think I cared about, let alone that I knew I didn't think I needed. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Yeah. So um like when you start get the results of that, like you know what I'm saying, like you know what I'm saying, like it's culture like not to post things about your woman and speak highly of your woman. You looked at as some type of simp or all these other things that they put in the culture for you not to, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying, praise like for one. I'm gonna say it, black women. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a culture that's built on oppressing them just as much as the overall race. You know what I'm
Right, right,
saying?
right,
So
right.
when you looked at it like so, I'm like when you doing stuff like that and speaking out, that like you're not even thinking about pride and ego. You know what I'm saying? Like like you think of yourself for real. Like yeah, if pride and ego is a factor, you think of yourself less of a person if you're not doing it. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm.
yeah,
Okay.
like
That's what I'm sitting here thinking about now, because I'm like, you know what? There were certain things, like, I could probably even use myself as an example within relationships to where it's like, all right, I'm this and this can't be a known factor to her on this end, and that I will do my best to make sure and remain that way. But I'm like, dang, did that necessarily come through a fact of pride and ego? And can you have so much pride and ego to where it diminishes my own growth individually and probably even within a relationship? It's like, dang, I really don't know if that played a part. I didn't think about it like that, but yet I still thought about it to the fact of I didn't want to allow any changes to diminish my character on the outside looking in. So that's where I was like, okay, that might have diminished everything else relationship wise on top of that. But yeah, it was just because of actions that were made to where it was like, all right, that can't be known yet. And I did my best to make sure that was not known. I can't even
Yeah,
begin to think about that in regards to uh family and kids and whatnot. Because I'm like, dang, if I did that, then who knows what levels I would go to with a family. That's just one person. I'm like, as a child, oh what? Like right now, I'm like, oh no, fam. They can't know. They can't know I messed up and I fell asleep too long. That's why they was after school all night, wondering why they ain't
yeah,
get up.
man. It's
Like, no, they can't know that. I gotta come up there with some lie. I was working, baby.
yeah, man. I just think, man, when you get to a certain spot, man, that's because like I know that's what Cherish and we big on now, man. It's just we be so accountable now. I be surprised at how accountable we are. You know, like when we
Mm,
do stuff with each other, it be like, that's my bad. You know what I'm saying? Like that's on me. You know what I mean? Like we be, and just especially coming from her, because that was one of the things like that I just wanted. I just wanted more of, you know what I'm
mm.
saying? Just like let's be a little bit just more accountable, and then like we can get past stuff better. You know what I mean? Because
Did that require levels
it's
of
not
growth, or you came
absolutely.
in it that way?
It decries levels of growth on both ends. You know what I'm saying? On both ends, on both of his ends. Because, like I say, submission is like just a relationship should just be a beautiful son. Just not just the submission is just one part of the relationship, but the relationship as a whole should be a beautiful song and dance between two lovers. Like you gotta flow and transition out of anything, and like that's why I said like now we at a point where like I feel like if I'm having a day, she can pick right step right in and hold stuff up and vice versa. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? You know what I mean? Because now, like I say, we to a point where we relearning each other, and a lot of that relearning is like what percentages of myself is in you now. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Because she be saying some shit sometimes where I be like, you know what? You know what? I'm like,
You
okay.
right. You
I'm
right. You
like,
got that from me.
I'm like, okay, young boys, calm down, calm down.
Man,
So yeah,
have
man.
you ever now saying that? I don't know if you have, but that us acknowledging the fact of us being males and the pride and ego and whatnot, and then looking at our parents one way or the other, knowing those mistakes, whether we do or not. Have you ever thought about that beforehand, before this discussion, to where it's like, you know what? I wonder what were the fuck up moments that I probably never would know in regards to myself, or is it just I'm going to focus on the moments that actually matter for me now?
Uh, I would say like now I'm not like that, but there was a point where I was, because like now, I'm so like in the present moment of now. I stay in the right now. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? So that way when things come to me, I know I'm making sound and judgment decisions because I got a clear mind and my mind not all over the place. You know what I'm saying? So
When I think
you know,
about that in regards to mine, it gets me to the point where it's like, you know what? I can sympathize with you on that. Now I understand why this happened or didn't happen, and I see why you moving the way you moving now.
yeah, yeah. Because like I say, I'm not, and that just, just to transition a little bit into my pops. Like that was the one thing. Like once I became a dad, like I understood the pressure he was under.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I understood it. I'm like, that's when like all the stuff started like being. I started being more forgiving.
Oh, word?
And really start healing. Cause I'm like, shoot, like we good. Like, cause like I was telling you, man, the last what my dad been gone, it'd be what 2 years in May. So Yeah, so Armani was about 5. So yeah, 5 years, man. My dad became my best friend because we had rebuilt our relationship because I understood everything now.
Mm.
Like I had a better understanding. I'm like, this shit, all right. I had support, bro. Like I had a hell of a support system. Like Armani was the first grandchild on both sides, so she spoiled as hell. Like she, never had to pay for child care, all this other type of stuff, man. And I'm like, and you still feel pressured to get shit done and perform and to get
Mm.
this child a life that you quote unquote you never had, you know what I'm saying? So like I got it more, you know what I mean? Like I get it. Like I get it now and like and
Was
it's
that?
like anything, it's an ongoing thing where I just learn more every day as I grow.
Mm.
I tweak certain beliefs because I didn't really believe, because on the whole, you asked me that same question about the boyfriend tip. I'm on some. He gotta have this. He gotta come for money. He gotta do this. You know what I'm saying? The
Right,
whole
right,
list
right, right,
different. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
but I have grown. I mature. I see. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I be on that tip, I'm just keeping toxic traits from the past. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like that's toxic stuff from the toxic garbage from the past that
Okay,
that
okay.
that that shouldn't even that shouldn't even be a factor. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay, wait. Is it toxic because it's the past, or is it? Pardon me. Is it toxic? Is it toxic because of the actions that are applied from
because the action it's
it?
a
Okay,
it's a
okay.
toxic action. You know what I'm saying? But it's one and the same because what's from the past is not toxic. Come on now. Like, I mean, as far as tradition, like all that tradition is toxic as hell, man.
Yeah, we
Like,
gonna have a tradition topic. Like you
like,
born into the tradition. Oh, your whole face changed. Like, oh man.
man, because man, it's toxic. It's toxic behavior. It's toxic because people focus on it so much they put themselves in situations they shouldn't even be in, and they make bad judgment decisions because they trying to be traditional. Because I have
What if that's all
mentioned
they know?
that don't make it any less toxic. It's still toxic. Like, I mean, I'm sorry. Like, if it's all they know, like it's toxic. You know what I mean? Like, I I truly believe this from the bottom of my heart. If Cherish and I would have went the traditional way with our relationship, and we would have got married years ago, we would not be together to this day.
Oh, word?
We wouldn't, because too often when you get into quote unquote marriages and you do these things the traditional way, like how often do you hear people say once we got married things start to change? Because it's always looked at as a psychological thing, like this is it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, see, I never looked at it. Every time I heard somebody say once we got married, things changed, my first thought was, nigga, you should have spent more time and learned each other first.
Exactly, and that's my point. And that's my point. And things change because once you get married, this psychological switch here, especially in a man, I gave her a ring. She married, got a home. If you got kids, you got a kids. You done. You good. You know what I'm saying? I got my man come home. I work. I'm providing. I'm doing all of this. And what you missing the fact is, you missing the factor is like you still got to do that same shit that you did, or
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
or stuff gonna start to change. So like a lot of times that psychological switch, and it's on both sides. Like don't
Right, right.
I
No,
ain't caping
I ain't,
I ain't caping for women. I ain't caping for women. So I don't know. I ain't caping for women, but it's on both sides.
I mean,
So
what you saying, I agree with, and I'm like, but it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter whether it's the fact of they get married traditionally or not. It still comes down to the psychological understanding of your relationship overall. Period. 'Cause I'm like, some people, I would hope have the understanding that you have in regards to relationship, but yet they still want the traditional thing, and it's like, all right, they already got that as their foundation. That's number one. and then they have the traditional thing as number two. But we see the tradition as number one all the time, and they don't even understand each other, yet alone themselves. And that's number two, or if not, at the bottom of the list.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I could see that, but I'm like, I still
Absolutely.
that comes down to the person. And I'm like, well, y'all need to spend
Yeah.
enough time with each other.
And you
Y'all
know, and you got to think a lot of that tradition, it was set up in a time that it's just not up to date to now culture. You know what I'm saying? A lot of that tradition, well, I talked about it before with women being a stay at home and the man being like
yeah,
women,
that makes sense.
women more independent now. You know what I'm saying? Like women go getters. Like it's some women out here that outgrind men. You know what
Right,
I'm saying? So like
right,
women
right,
go
right.
getters now. Like, and not to toot my own horn, I got one. You know what I'm saying? Cause
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
you know,
Toot your
not
own
saying
horn.
not saying she outgrind me. In certain places, she do outwork me because she just stronger, and I ain't even gonna hold you up on that. But and I
What
got
is
one.
that?
You know what I'm
What
saying?
is?
So
This might go a little left,
what's
but it's
that?
a question. I mean, it ties to what we're saying, not the initial topic, but this is a question that I cannot help but, and I don't understand why. Why is it such a heavy thing for females to want to get married, or not even just get married, have kids? Why? Why is that? Oh my God, I gotta hurry up and do this. I mean, I understand the body, and it's like, time clock and all of that. You ain't got enough time, blah blah blah. But I'm like, yo, you putting
Hey,
pressure on situations that you gonna mess around and lose. You ain't thinking
you
about that.
I hey that's I feel like you throwing me a trick question, bro. I
I
am
don't get that.
I am most definitely not about to answer that. You say that one for Cherish when she come on, because she a woman. I ain't about to
Yeah,
answer a question that's meant for a woman, and you get me nobody.
I think
Like,
she'll give me an answer for it, but if y'all have the understanding that y'all have, I don't think it's gonna be a traditional answer. I want to have that with somebody who do that, and then they be like, "Oh, I
no,
made that action because."
no, no. I think she could give you an answer because
Okay.
it used to be mindset one time. Like her mindset
Oh,
evolved. Like we wasn't always where we was at, because
okay, okay.
remember I told you at one point it was like she wanted the whole traditional thing, and
Oh, you did say
um
that. You right. I remember.
then it transitioned. I'm trying to go back to our timeline. It's 10 years. So then I gave her the promise ring. And then that to put it like promise always work towards blah blah blah, that deal. And then over time, then Armani came. And then that's when it started to shift a little bit. And then I started to get more on the traditional tip.
Oh,
And
word.
then I brought it back to her, and then she was like, I ain't really on that. We
Hmm.
good. You know what I want, and I want the moments. And I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah,
So
I gotta write
you
that one
know,
down now because I don't want to forget that one. I gotta do that.
so and then it transitioned to that, and like now we on a whole different vibe, and I don't even know even how to describe it now. And it's like we
Happiness.
Nah, yeah, the happiness, but just as far as the man. Oh, and this what I told my barber. I was about to I was about to tell him about something, and then he was like, "Oh, what you getting married?" And then I hit him with because I had said this plenty of times in my head, but this is
Mm.
my first time saying it out loud. Oh man, and I said it so flawlessly. I was like, man, I'm like, we got a union ship with one another. We don't need a partnership with the government for what we got. And it sounded so smooth. And I was like, yeah, that felt so right.
He ain't had no comeback. He ain't had no response to that.
Nah. He actually he was like, hey, the next barber next door, he was like, he repeated what I said, and he was like, yeah, because that's what my man, that's what he
Okay,
be
okay,
on.
okay,
That's what
okay,
he be
okay,
on. He was
okay.
like, so I was like, so it was just confirmation of everything. I came a long way to be able to say that and say it with confidence.
Right,
Especially the fact that I've been saying it like the last couple of weeks in my head because
right.
We about to go into this another step in our life, and people gonna start seeing different things, and people be in your business. So that's my response.
Yes.
Instead of being what I really want to say, mind your damn business. You know what I mean? Like we good over here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
She protected on many different levels. Maybe more than you, at Miss Wife, but that's on a whole nother. That's on a whole nother energy that I never really want. I never go on if off rip.
Okay.
Off rip. If somebody get me on a day I got the time, they might get cut into. But yeah, man.
Was there a moment where you felt I'm not accusing you, all right? Is there a moment where you felt you let your pride or ego get in the way in regards to your relationship with your child or significant other?
Many times, man. Many times, and almost, I ain't gonna say almost every time, because sometimes, like, I let it ride. And, um, no, but sometimes I come back to some shit and just be like, that one time you was right on that. Like but
Okay.
it took me a while to get there, but
Now, same thing for your parents. And is there a difference of how much your pride and ego gets in the way compared to your mama or dad?
And see, that's one thing about my dad. Like, towards the rebuilding relationship, it was such a straight line of communication where like that wasn't even an issue. Now my mama, that's a little bit more testy because you got them deep and rooted Christian roots. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a little different story. And that's where I'm gonna stop with that. You're not about to get me on that one either. Nope. I ain't getting that one on wax. I ain't getting that one on wax. And on that is a good way to transition back to my dad. This the
All I got from that was nigga, psych, you lied. Moving on.
Yeah, absolutely. You're not about to get me to put that one on wax. You can get that one off.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie because I was gonna answer the question too, but then thinking about my answers, like,
no, you don't get that one on. The only episode I listened to, and I gotta hear this. Hey, nah,
bro, right?
Nice try.
Okay, the only thing I can say, just to answer that question, would be yes. Yes. Now, to what extent and moment, I'm not. No, I ain't answering that. But I will say, yeah, it's definitely been moments where pride and ego got in the way, and there was definitely differences between those said levels, whether it was a mom or dad. So yeah, I could definitely say that though. Nah, man, that's about it. I ain't gonna go.
Hey, you got the cards.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and cap off there. Let's do our cards. We'll do our cards, and then I do my little
by the time we get to that
piece.
By the time we get to that relationship episode, I'm gonna have 36 something questions. We're gonna need to double down on time. If that is the case. Oh wait, this is the first time did I have this on camera last time? Did I have the cards on camera last time?
I don't know for sure.
Or did I just pull them and rate them? I don't remember. Well, I'm gonna do like I did in the cousin chat. I'm gonna get two reds. That's not cool. Oh, but can you just, I don't think you can see it. You can see this now. I believe you can. Oh yeah, there we go. Perfect. Top, middle, or bottom?
Top.
Top it is.
You said top 2?
In my head, I did, yes.
Mm.
Mm. Mm.
For anybody that just tuning in, we end every episode pulling from a deck of cards. It's kind of like a little final thought, you know, just to give y'all something to
Well,
think on for the week.
what
Off the top.
was a turning point in your life?
Oh, you go first. That's why I wanted you to do the cards because it's a good way to end because it's a good way to end with my pops and that's how we
I
go
don't
in.
think I'm gonna answer. Why are you talking? But okay, I'll go first.
No, you gotta go first so we can end it.
Turning point for me was okay, yeah, I definitely got one. And I spoke on it a few times I think I did on here when I was sick and in the hospital, and I had the neighbor that I ignored him for like a day, 2 days, whatever. And then by the time I actually decided to have a conversation with him, he was like, "Oh, thank you," and then he passed away. That was a turning point in my life because I was like, "Yo, that hit me on so many different levels."
Yeah, that was early on. I remember that one.
Yeah, that
I remember that one. And for me, of course, it's my pop's transition for so many different reasons because it gave me adversity that I never dealt with before.
Okay.
It verified the position of leadership I always been called to step into. Um, it it did a lot. It did a lot. It showed me how to deal with those type of moments and
Hmm.
and the proper way to grieve. Um, so like just a turning point, just in general, and that's so amazing. That's why I wanted you to do the cards because I was gonna say before I ask you did we get the cards, I was gonna be like, let's not do the cards this week.
Oh, word.
Let me just do this piece for my pops and be done with it. But you pulled the cards. What's the turning point? That's just like see y'all right there. It's evidence when I tell y'all when y'all get in flow and get in frequency and just let go and let God just guide you, guide your thoughts. Let the universe guide your thoughts and that type of stuff happen.
Yeah. Be free within yourself, and you'll be
Yeah,
free with things around you.
yeah. So,
Mhm.
so, so with saying that, this episode is gonna actually drop on my dad's birthday, April 7th.
Oh, snap.
Um, it's his birthday fall on a
Oh, I mean,
Wednesday this year.
okay.
So,
Dang. I
so
want to
it's
ask you this, but it goes into that, and now knowing that it drops on your dad's birthday, I mean, I gotta ask it now. With what you said that taught you the adversity and whatnot, and learning how to grieve properly. Could you break those down?
as far as break down the learning how to grieve properly.
Yeah. I mean, I know that's probably an individual thing. It taught you how to deal with it your way through whatever said situation. But
Yeah.
what
Because
was that process?
I didn't talk about it. You remember when I told you I went into that transition of work where I just work, and
Mm.
I didn't face like the hurt that I was dealing, and then I hit that wall, and then it was
Oh,
like my whole
okay.
world was about to unravel, and then
Right.
I came into this year saying I was gonna take those moments when I think about my dad, and I'm gonna take that moment and cry. And I actually had one watching Coming to America too. Have you seen Coming to America too?
Not yet.
No, but okay, not to spoil it all
No,
away,
you can
but
spoil that. I don't. I'll watch
okay, you don't care.
it.
Okay, yeah, his dad died in it, and in that scene when his dad closed his eyes and him stepping back from it triggered me. Like
Mm.
I'm just gonna say straight up, it triggered me the first, like not this the first time I seen it, like the other few times, like it got me and I looked at it, but the first time Like I'm sitting watching it, and I don't want Cherish to sense it, because I know once she senses it, she gonna make it worse. So
Right,
so
right,
so
right.
so I'm just sitting there watching it, and I'm looking, and I let the couple tears flow, and I kind of wipe them so she can't see them, and then you know what I'm saying,
Right, right, right.
but I let that moment happen. You know what I'm saying? I let that moment happen, and in the past, I wouldn't let those moments happen. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't letting those moments happen. I was just getting up, working,
Right, right, right.
just straight blind. I was being productive, but inside it was eating at me, because I just wasn't letting those moments happen. So that's what I
Okay.
meant. What I know about the proper way to breathe. So
Okay. That's good enough for me.
yeah,
That's good
yeah.
enough.
So happy birthday, pops! I love
Happy
you,
birthday.
miss you. Um, Appreciate everything. This whole episode was dedicated to you. You always told me how proud of a father and man I became and was growing into, and I've been building on that the last 2 years. So man, I love you, man. And, thank y'all for tuning in. Uh, we see y'all next week. Let's create.
Let's create.